Welcome to New Activations with Lena. I feel like I've done so much talking in the past few days that I should give it a rest. Because there has been plenty of them where I had to delete because I said too much. Too soon, maybe. And I know, and right now where I am, there's other people here, and this is the best time for me right now to record because my phone doesn't get hot and turn off on me before I'm finished. When I try to do it earlier than this, it gets too hot and it turns off on me. So, there's a lot more to meditation than just maybe I should put that differently because I'm looking around to see if I should continue or if I should rephrase that. I'm very careful with tuning into the messages as I'm speaking. So I want to make sure that it's safe and okay with what I'm saying. If you want to truly understand your own divine essence and find your true self, and know your true self, then meditation, daily meditation, is important. And you can take it as far as you want. You can decide that, okay, you've had enough, and whatever you believe is true for you. But if you feel that there's more, well, that is true for you also, and keep going. Because I didn't know anything about meditation when I first started. And I'm grateful I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I didn't cave. I didn't give in. I wasn't tempted. But I was tested over and over and over again. And so you have to be on top of it to know when you're being tested and what choice do you make when you are being tested. For me, the only time I found it challenging or a little difficult was I don't know if I should go into the details about that, but I guess I'll call it a trigger. And not feed into anger or give in to your emotions to where you're running off to distract yourself by eating, to calm the nervousness you may feel or the emptiness you may feel because there's anger lingering, and you may have not had that habit before, but because of your circumstances or your situation or your living situation or your financial situation or all of the above, and you're doing the best you can, but you're not able to do everything you want to do because of those reasons. And no matter how hard you tried, you're still in the same situation. And so it's really unhealthy to run off to get food, even when you want to have something else, but you can't afford that because you have to buy what you can afford. That's really unhealthy too, because that is only giving into a craving, which will then create an addiction, which you don't need. But sometimes it gives you satisfaction because it's the only thing you can do. And that's not fun either. You're better off just not having it at all. And even if you do have buried anger, you have to be patient with yourself to be free of it. You don't want it to control you. You don't want your emotions to get the best of you and make you lash out in public, because that's not a good scene. To cause a scene by being overly dramatic in front of others. And it's really unhealthy to lash out on others and take it out on them. It's better just to remove yourself and to go be alone with yourself and meditate and breathe through that anger until it dissipates into nothingness from whence it came. And it may not look good at times, it may not sound good at times, but at least you're taking responsibility for it, and you're not taking it out on others, and you're not taking it out on yourself. You're taking responsibility for it, and you're being with it and feeling through it. And today, after I did some sessions, I came over here, and what do I see? I see a green, dark green car with black tinted windows sitting in the middle of the highway, not moving at all. As I crossed the street and got closer, then they began to move until they crossed right in front of me. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're talking about the weather, and places around here got scared, so they're not going to be open tomorrow. Some places, not everywhere. I'm sure it'll be nothing. I'm sure the weather will just be fine. I don't feed into things like that just because it's announced, oh, bad weather's coming, we got blah, blah, blah. I don't waste my time feeding into that. I have better things to do with my mind and my time. It's important to remain positive. No matter what. And I was talking with a woman today who lost her husband, who was a veterinarian, and he passed from cancer. She lost her house, something happened, and she was in a car accident, and now she's on fentanyl. So she had a bunch of of these things, these patches, I guess is what she was describing as. And she doesn't have it. She doesn't know where they are. She doesn't know if someone took it or she misplaced it or whatever. And she's not able to get more until the end of this month. So she was telling me how, about how she was thinking about this, and how she wanted to overcome her need for it. Which isn't an easy thing to do, from what she tells me. And I've never had an addiction like that. I don't party or do drugs, or even if I was in pain, I wouldn't do it. But some people can't help it. So I was trying to help her to breathe through it and to not feed into her thoughts or what her mind was telling her to do. Because she was wasting a lot of time with how it went, if someone took it or not, and that really wasn't serving her highest and best. So I was telling her that she was stronger than she thinks she is, and she can do it. She, had chemo for cancer, and that's gone. So she can do the same with her pain, to try to free herself from it. And I sat with her for a while, and every time she had a thought that came up that was telling her how much she needed it and was making her unhappy and uncomfortable, I was moving her away from those distractions and trying to bring her into neediness of needing these painkillers. And she said, you're right, but I can see that she wasn't completely ready, because she has been off of it for 9 days now, and I could see she had anger. And I did leave her with some jewels, because I can't force her to do anything. She listened, and she knew what I was saying is what it would help her, and that it definitely would serve her highest and best. But when she's ready, she'll be able to do that. And she has to make that choice to really stick to it. Because when you're trying to separate yourself from these things, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take persistence. It's going to take responsibility to really stay focused and on top of it, and not be frazzled and scattered and wishy-washy and you have to have a one-track mind. You have to have a deep, burning desire to want to do better for yourself, to really love yourself, and listen to the messages that you are being given, because it's important. It's helping you to rise above your suffering. Nobody likes to suffer. But the reason why there is suffering is because I feel if you don't get it the easy way, you're going to receive it the hard way. Lessons that you don't understand or are too busy to take responsibility for, to release yourself of it. And it's not easy. I feel that it is challenging, and each path is, each person can't compare their journey to another, because we're all here learning different things that serve our highest and best. But if you do this now if you pay attention and you do this now, that makes it easier on you, because you're doing it before you're being forced to do it. And when you're being forced to do it, it's not fun. And what I mean by that is you can no longer distract yourself. You can no longer look the other way. You can no longer run the other way. You can no longer ignore it. You can no longer sweep it under the carpet. You have to face it and confront it and take responsibility for it and stay on top of it and commit yourself to it. For me, it wasn't easy at all. I'd like to say it was a walk in the park. I'd like to say it was a picnic. I'd like to say it was a vacation. I'd like to say it was paradise, but it wasn't any of those things. I mean, in the beginning, sure. It was a lot of fun and it was really magical. But then it turned out to be different, because I didn't want to do it when it came time to working on myself. I thought that what I'm doing is more important, and why do I need to do this? Why do I need to work on myself? Why? I was angry about that, because I was already doing work for so many others. And I didn't want to I didn't want to have to focus on myself because I already had my life planned out. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, be active. And it was taken out of my busy schedule, and I didn't want to interrupt my schedule because when you're trying to keep your health under control and you found a way of having to do it, you don't want to lose that time. You want to stay on top of it so you end your suffering in that way. But the way it happened for me was I had a whole bunch of guides that I thought I was going to train with. I had lists of who I was going to do what with, and I didn't know how I was going to make it happen. I was trying to figure it out, and then when my guide showed up after the first one, I didn't even know I was going to choose her. I didn't even know what I was doing then, but I read the information, I did the sessions, and I kept going. And how many people do you know that could keep going doing something they know nothing about? They didn't know anyone else in their life that was doing it, and they couldn't talk to anybody about it. How many people do you think would have kept going knowing nothing about it, not having anyone to talk to about it, and you were the only one doing it, and still believe and have faith anyway, even though there's no proof? And how long could you keep doing that? How long could you stay focused and on top of it? And my guide said, "Are you going to go kicking and screaming?" And I'm like, I'm not like that. I didn't know what she was talking about. But I guess she knew on some level that I would be that way because my sensitivity is off the charts. It's beyond extreme. And I tuned that out for the longest time because I didn't want to feel. I was enjoying the life of being comfortably numb. But that didn't serve. That only went so far until I could no longer ignore it. So it was difficult because I was so used to being active that even through my meditations I had to get up and be active until I got over that. I mean, it was out of control, and it took me a long time to sit and be still. And to really know yourself, it's not going to happen overnight. Building muscle doesn't happen overnight. Anything that is worth having, do you get it overnight? I mean, sure, there's miracles, and that's a wonderful thing. And sometimes that can happen, because what you believe is true for you. And if your beliefs are getting in the way, and it's just an endless merry-go-round of negative thoughts, How's that working for you? So, I hope I'm not saying too much because I'm listening and watching as I'm speaking right now. I just want to do the right thing here and give you a little information that would inspire you to keep going and just trust and believe and have faith. Only your heart knows how long it's going to take. The ego might distract you and say a whole lot of nothing to get you to keep doing what you've always done. But if you've always done what, if you continue to do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always gotten. Do not let the ego keep you enslaved by doing the same old thing, because it's running on autopilot with the habits. If the habits and the beliefs aren't serving your highest and best, then you're just going to keep on doing the same old thing. And you have to examine every one of your beliefs. And be the watcher of your thoughts. Stay on top of it. Because if you have negative thoughts that are popping in your head, the best thing for you to do is not to entertain it. Focus on the positive, have a one-track mind. And you know what else? You hear all kinds of situations that people have been in, and they rose above it. Even if you're in a situation that doesn't serve your highest and best, even if you have no money and no home and no car, and suddenly you're an orphan, you can still continue to do this daily, anywhere, at any time. and trust in God. Did you hear that? I will end here. And I will see you next time.